I didn't feel too good about it, but do you know something? The other thing about confidence is the more you get into it, the more confident you get, and that's exactly what I did. I started off with small things to say and then more things to say. So there's lots of things you can do to be more confident, and that was my first one. How can you be more confident? Now, this is a question that I get asked all the time. Over a decade, in fact, probably 15, 16 years ago, I really lacked in confidence. And I didn't really know what to do about it at the time. But there was a trick that I learned, which somebody told me a long, long time ago. And that was fake it until you make it when it comes to confidence. Because confidence, people believe that you're born with it. But it's actually a skill. It's something that you can learn. The best way I can explain what I did is to think about how somebody else that's super confident would behave in the situation that you find yourself in. So, for example, I wanted to speak to people on a microphone in a situation where there was about 30 people there. The first time I ever spoke on a microphone, I was really nervous. And somebody said, well, just what would somebody else do? I can't remember their names now. But anyway, I had this person in my mind and they're super confident. And so I thought, right, what would they do? How would they stand? How would they speak? And they would stand up straight. They would have good posture. So this is the first thing, have good posture. I mean, everybody knows this, but sometimes people just go into autopilot and they just sort of mumble through it. But no, have good posture. Speak clearly. Have eye contact. These are really, really important things. Now, what I did before I used the microphone, I actually went and spoke to the people around the room, face to face without the microphone, because then in my mind, they were already friends. So anything I did on the microphone, I couldn't embarrass myself because they've already met me and they already know that I'm a confident person because I was confident enough to go and speak to them. So in my mind, this worked and it tricked my subconscious to be able to speak on the microphone. I didn't feel too good about it, but do you know something? The other thing about confidence is the more you get into it, the more confident you get, and that's exactly what I did. I started off with small things to say and then more things to say. So there's lots of things you can do to be more confident, and that was my first one. If you have something that you're trying to do, let's say it is speaking to a lot of people, a great idea is to begin by practicing with yourself. So let's say you want to approach somebody in a bar, or perhaps it's a job interview. Well, you can imagine yourself in that situation by using visualization, but you can actually do it in the mirror. You can do it in the mirror and you can actually see how you're stood. With other things, you can record yourself. So for example, things like this that I'm doing now, I can record it, watch it back and think, oh, did I like that? Did I not? Now I'm not too concerned. Everybody makes mistakes, and as you get more confident, you realize that this is just being more authentic. But when you start out, you don't want to make mistakes. If you do make mistakes, do not worry, all right? Because you're more authentic if you do make mistakes. But everybody thinks you need to stick to a script. Even now, I'm stuttering some of my words, and that's fine because it's natural, it's authentic, and this is good. This is another thing to remember. Be yourself. But imagine being yourself, but the best version ever. In fact, imagine yourself being an actor or an actress in whatever situation. How would you do whatever the situation is? Shoulders back, confident, in control, relaxed, speaking clearly, not rushing your words. Now, I do rush my words, but that's not because of a lack of confidence. That's because I have so much to say. So it's sometimes a bit of a problem for other people that are listening to me, especially my friends and family, but that's just the way it is. So these are things to remember. You can practice with yourself, but then also practice with somebody that you know very well, then practice with a couple of people, then a few people, then more, then the group gets bigger, and it's just easier. It's like jumping off a big cliff. If you just try and jump off a big cliff into the water, and you know it's safe, but you might not do it because it's just so scary. But if you jump off half a meter, then a meter and a half, and there's no difference. There's not big enough difference between any of the heights for it to be a concern. So you do this one 10 times, this one 10 times, this, and you keep going. When you get to the top cliff, you're not even bothered. It's just natural for you. And this is the same with confidence. So you start off small steps, build yourself up, and you will get there 100%. So imagine somebody that's really confident and just think to yourself, what would they do in this situation? And then replicate what they would do in this situation. It's as simple as that. Next thing is really take criticism and ask for criticism, because when you're trying to do something, when you're trying to change yourself, it's very easy for the people around you to just say, oh yeah, that's brilliant. Oh yeah, that top looks great. Those shoes really match. And they're just agreeable. But you don't want that. That's great if they're telling the truth, if they're being authentic. But in reality, you really want people to critique you and say, oh, maybe these shoulders should be a little bit further back, stand up straight. You're speaking very slowly, or you're speaking too quickly. Your eyes are everywhere. You look really nervous. Maybe your clothes or something aren't fitting correctly. So ask for this to the right people. People that don't care about feelings are good people to ask, and just take it. And don't let it bother you, but take it, write it down, correct it. And then you know that you've asked the right questions and you're now doing things in the correct way. So taking criticism is a huge one. When I first worked on stage, I wore a full suit and a jacket. And somebody came up to me and said, you shouldn't wear the jacket. You're not very approachable. And I said, oh, thank you for letting me know. And I got in the car and I was a bit like, oh, that's a little bit rude. And then I thought about it the next day once the adrenaline had come down from me being on the stage. And I thought, yeah, he's right. Never wore a jacket again. And I totally get what he means. But just that one criticism really helped me from that first stage. So these are the sort of things I'm talking about. So appearance is another one. You have to make sure that in your mind, you're looking as good as you can be. So whatever your style is, it doesn't have to be a suit or a dress or anything in particular. Whatever you want to be, just make sure it's how it should be. So the best version of that outfit. So things that are fitting correctly, and make sure your hair is good. Make sure you're groomed how you like to be. So you give yourself all of these advantages that you can take control of, and then you don't need to worry about all of those things. Now you can move on to the actual job itself. So this is really important, and it gives you that confidence, because you know whenever you leave the house or whenever you're doing particular things, you always look immaculate in the way that you want to look. Okay, this is really good. Take care in your appearance, and this just builds confidence within you anyway. And you start to get compliments as well, which also builds confidence. That's another thing. Take compliments, all right? This is something I am terrible at, taking compliments. I used to do different shows and I didn't even want a round of applause at the end. People would say, come out and take a bow and things. I didn't even want to do it because I don't like things like that. But you have to embrace it. You have to take compliments. This is another important way to get even more confident within yourself. In the end, I was good at it, but I kind of pretended I was good at it. But sometimes that's enough. Learning new skills can build confidence, new sports, hobbies, whatever they are, joining groups of people to do group events, all of these things build confidence. Now, the next thing that you can do are affirmations. So affirmations, you can say them out loud, shoulders back, chest out. I am confident. I am in control of my emotions. I can do this. I can speak perfectly. Everybody will think that I am the best speaker here. You can say all these things and it works, okay? You keep repeating them, but you say them out loud and you feel them, you believe them, you make them so. Visualizations, picture yourself in the situations that you want to be confident in and see yourself as that confident person. If you've done things in the past where you wish you were more confident, imagine going back in time, redoing the event, but in the way that you wish you'd done it in the first place, and keep doing that, and that will also boost your confidence. Always be as positive as you can and motivated as you can, okay? This is really important. You keep the momentum going, all right? So you can take your confidence from place to place to place. But these tips are what I used at the beginning to be more confident. And as soon as you start to get on the steps towards the destination you're going, it just builds. It builds naturally. Confidence builds confidence. You're teaching yourself to be more confident. That's what it's all about. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Press the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you click the link below, you can go and check out the website. We've got loads of audios there that can help you with confidence and all sorts of other things. So have a look. From all of us here at New Mindset Hypnotherapy, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a very confident and happy day.